Hello everyone, this is Ellie of Herbcraft by Ellie Apothecary. Welcome to another timeless reading, oracle, tarot, and psychic channeled message. We're going to hop right in today, going old school with the ASMR podcast style. I'm working with archetypes. Spirit wants to know, are you ready to cross the threshold? Rule your own domain. Be the one, the chosen one. Release all that is no longer serving you. This may require feeling the feelings and learning new knowledge. Are you open? Do you have an open heart? Do you have an open mind? Are you sovereign? Are you at peace? What does that mean to you? Journal prompts for those that like to go inward or commune with your spirit, your divine, whatever that may be. Thank you for being here. Description box has all the details you could desire. Wow, that's way too many cards, Spirit. They just dumped out like 15 cards, but I'll take the Destroyer and the Ocean. There's also the Vessel behind that, but we're going to put those back. The Threshold came out in reverse. So some of you have already crossed the threshold. Okay, we just pulled the Vow. Spirit had me pull 9 archetypes cards. And when we're ready, we have the Herbcrafters Tarot to dive into the tarot. I'll give you some more context as we go along. Just enjoy the journey. And know that I am recording this message ahead of time, and that Spirit said that we will release it with divine timing. So it may come out way later, or it may be next week. I don't know. Again, I always leave the moon sign energy in the description box to give you an idea of what we're going through as a collective at the time of me recording this message. And you can gain more insight by looking at your personal birth chart, whatever sign the moon is in, looking at the different parts of your birth chart, astrologically speaking. Or you can book a reading with me and I will record you a message. Tarot, astrology, divine guidance, just email me. Alright, so the Threshold, the Queen, the One, Thanatos, the Tear, Gnosis, the Destroyer, the Ocean, and the Vow. Those are our 9 cards. Gonna read into this energy. Go ahead and get comfortable. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, drop a heart if you want to claim this message, or a star. All right. The Threshold. Think about all the times in your life that you have been faced with moving forward on something that makes you uncomfortable. Whatever feeling you just had there, if you want to pause the video and go inward and meditate, this is also a healing session. Not medical healing, it's spiritual healing, okay? There is a disclaimer in the description box. If you are brave enough to stay through this whole message, you will transmute your energy with me. And if you stay to the end, this message truly was meant for you. Know that. You're here for a reason. What that reason is between you and your divine. I'm simply delivering the message. Past, present, or future possibilities. We're all in different timelines. Speaking of timelines, thresholds, right? So think about that feeling you had when I mentioned the last time you were faced with having to cross a threshold. How did it make you feel? I picked up on some anxiety. So take a moment when you're feeling brave to be mindful, or just keep rolling with the message. You can also come back to it, use it to kind of go inward and do some inner soul work. Some of you felt excitement, some of you felt joy. It really just depends on the context of what the threshold is. However, whatever state of being we are in when we are faced with challenges or opportunities, depending on your perspective, for a third perspective, the third door, which I always mention, there's always a third door, and a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth. We're not limited to one or the other. The third door is all possibilities are opportunities. There are no problems. Solutions are here. You train your mind, and anything is possible. The Queen, regal, holding space in your own court. What does your castle look like to you? How do you nurture your environment? How do you root into your wholeness, your being? Where's the light for you? What tempts you and tries to take you apart and scatter you beyond the here and now? Could it be negative perspectives of others, whether internalized or externally coming for you? Is it the goodness that you're desiring for your life? Is that scattering? Do you not know which option to choose? And do you know how lucky you are to be able to choose? Are you grateful for that? The one. XXX 33. Trinity. Unity. Co-creation with yourself, with the divine, with the universe. And for some of you, another. Either in spirit or physical or both. The one. Eclipsing out of the darkness, or being comfortable floating through it. Again, the possibilities are limitless. When you understand that you are inside of an experience and outside of it, you realize that everything is connected. That you are both experiencing it and witnessing it. That if you understand that timelines are not linear, you've already experienced it. So let me ask you, what do you want to experience? What needs to end, to die, to perish, with Thanatos here, death, in order to fully transform and blossom into this queenly nature, gender nondescript? I'm talking about a feminine womb space of creation, of fulfillment within, so without, feeling safe, feeling whole. When you feel this within, you can travel through any portal, in any realm, in concept or spiritual principles. The tear. I just had about 5 different channels come down on that. The obvious is feeling your feelings, right? The tear, to release, to let yourself grieve what has happened in the past and let go of it. To accept that based on your knowledge, gnosis, right? Your wisdom will carry you through any pain. I'm getting deep chills right now, so that's confirmation from Spirit. If you choose to not invoke this wisdom and stay in a end state of death, of non-movement, of stagnancy, with Thanatos, I get interesting accents sometimes. It's part of being a channel, don't mind that. The destroyer, right? Do you want to destroy yourself, or do you want to destroy the illusions of self that are no longer serving you? Destroyer is right under Thanatos, which is under the threshold. Queen is above the tier, which is above the ocean, pouring into the ocean, into the endless deep below. As within, so without. We fulfill ourselves. We create the wholeness and we create the space. And it is an endless flow. And as I listen to this, I do have the sounds of the ocean behind me, coming in and out of the tide. Cycles of life cannot be stopped. There's a polarity here of being above it and within it. But when you realize, again with the one here, when you are all at the same time, you are everything. You are past, you are present, you are future all at once. You are in it, you are above it, and you are below it at the same time. So the question really is what do you want? The vow. What promises have you made to yourself on the kind of life that you want to experience? Remove doubt, release disbelief, and you don't even have to think, oh, well, I can't do this, okay, well, then you are deciding to be limited. This is about training the mind to be able to accomplish anything, to free yourself, to liberate yourself. I'm seeing the star card in my mind's eye. Rise above and heal. That doesn't mean that you're better than each other or you're more special than anyone, but it does mean that you're more special and precious to yourself, that you've decided to lift yourself up, therefore being sovereign, being safe, being secure within yourself. So all you got to do is tell yourself, I'm not going to experience this anymore, and then stay dedicated to it. It is the positive side of delusion. But the reality is after you've accomplished something, you've practiced something, it becomes you. You become the one, the choice, the one that can make any move in any time or place and know that you will always align with that which you want. So if there's something you don't want, like a limit or a block or a belief, say goodbye to it. Let it die. Thanatos. Let it go. Don't worry about, well, this, da-da-da-da. No, just say goodbye. Let it go. Trust that over time you will eradicate that toxin from your system. Trust that you deserve to believe in yourself. I have been channeling this message, this mantra. For some of you know that I'm also a writer. I'm working on a book of prose that's going to come out with some other books I'm writing. And I've been keeping most of my work to myself. I've been protecting my work, my creations, until I'm ready to release them. But Spirit has been channeling this message to me over and over. And when I first channeled this months ago, or however many time from when this reading comes out, I knew it had to be shared because it's powerful. It's simple and it's powerful. Now, because I am a psychic medium empath, I do have premonitions, I do have visions, and yes, they come true. And the more experience I become with my craft, with my practice, with my belief, the more they have evolved into being more consistent, and they always prove themselves. So when you develop spiritually, these will become more apparent. It will become a way of life. And if that is not something you believe in, just know that it's about free will of choice. Okay? Again, training your mind, choosing to stay dedicated to believing in what is possible for you. Okay? So this is what I wrote. This is my little channel. And yes, this will be copyrighted, protected information in my book. Though Spirit and I created it, because I co-create everything with Spirit. Okay? This whole reading is me and Spirit. We are co-creating every reading we release together, which is why I say we. Again, the one is unity with everyone and everything and beyond. That's alignment for you. Okay, so here's the channel. All of my premonitions about negative happenings came true, which means all of my premonitions about positive outcomes are also true. The question is, do you have the courage to believe you deserve the good and then receive it? If you take nothing else from this reading, take that. If you need to back it up, you are welcome to write it down and use it for your personal use. Please do. And of course, if you are also on a platform and you share my wisdom at any point, I'd appreciate credit, but it is not demanded. If I inspire you, I am grateful. Then Spirit and I have done something good here. Thank you so much. I'm going to say this one more time because I really feel like we need to hammer this in, okay? All of my premonitions about negative happenings came true, which means all of my premonitions about positive outcomes are also true. The question is, do you have the courage to believe you deserve the good and then receive it? I just got chills again. I'm feeling called to the tarot. So I'm going to clean my table off. I'm going to let you all just kind of think about that for a minute and what that means to you. Okay, this is soul guidance. This is a spiritual reading. Let's see what the Herb Crafters has to say. Thank you again for being here. I really appreciate you. Four Cups. Hayas are pages, Adelitas are knights, Madres are queens, curanderas are kings, and this deck uses earth, air, fire, water instead of pentacles, swords, wands, and cups. Alright, next card we have Haya of Earth, mint and linden plant for the plants associated with this deck for these cards. Ooh, we got the Devil with blackberry, which is a nice, beautiful blackberry pie. Curandera of Earth, sweetgrass. I don't usually call out the plants on these, but I'm feeling called this time, so I'm doing it. Perhaps I have some fellow herbalists in this group. Thank you for being here. This is a collective message. Strength, garlic, number 8. August could be significant. Leo season or a Leo moon, which we are in right now. 7 of Air, Eucalyptus, the World, Pachamama. And then we have 3 of Fire, Calendula. So what I've got based on these 8 cards right here, and we'll see if I want to pull more. If you're ready to proceed, awesome. If you want to take this in stride, then come back later. If this becomes a long form message, I will cut it down to shorter form later when I feel called to do so, and there will be separate messages then. It's up to you what you want to do. All right. Coming out of the blah, to be able to take steps on the most simplest offer, mastering the material by having strength, strategizing, allowing yourself to be seen by the world and expand. That is the basic read here I've got on these cards. Tower card just came out, kind of flipped out, and then death is trying to stick out again. And the tower card came out sideways, kind of in reverse, so I'm going to take it in reverse. So I'm getting a couple of channels on this. One, some of you have already had a tower moment, or you're experiencing one through this reading, which is a big unexpected change. It's a revelation. Your foundation is being rebuilt here, right? Some of you have already gone through this, and some of you're about to. For those of you that are about to, it requires, again, great change, an ending. For you to have the possibility of everything you want for your life, whatever that means to you, and to master the material, to escape the matrix for some of you, to ascend to a higher consciousness, to be comfortable as within, so without, it requires letting go of that, as well as letting go of the fear of unexpected change. I'm hearing for some of you. Some of you have been through many tower moments, and it has put you into a somewhat of a trauma state, a trauma loop, where it's difficult for you to see the good because you're constantly still experiencing the bad, which is more reason to go inward here with the Queen, with the comfort, with the nurture within yourself, finding that sacred space within yourself, trusting that you are connected to everything, that you are not alone, and that it's okay to feel your feelings. I'm getting heavy chills again. Remembering your wisdom, or finding those that are wise, truly have something to contribute and guide you. This message in itself is spiritual guidance. If you feel called, I will work with you. Just reach out. The vow is not just about what you've promised yourself or what you've hoped that the divine will deliver to you. It's about the things we say to ourselves on a daily that we believe, because our thoughts do become things. They do become reality. We are all responsible for creating our own experience. And what is reality? It's our perspective of what life is. Have you ever noticed that when you try to have a more positive attitude, and we are not talking about toxic positivity, we're talking about aligning to manifest our reality, choosing to have control over our own thoughts and feelings, therefore we are able to flow through life and have the best experience. It starts with mindfulness, understanding your patterns, your cycles. That's also in the world card here. Okay? The ocean can also be seen as associations with the moon, and we have here again the divine feminine queen, and there is a very big, very golden, luminous moon. I'm hearing super moon. I think the next super moon, and again, it's this is a timeless message, so I'm gonna stop that thought there. Whatever the next super moon is it could be very relevant for you for manifesting the fulfillment of your life, I'm hearing. So set intentions. Just do a quick Google search, whatever time you're receiving this. When is the next super moon? If you're watching this in, again, this, I may release this months down the road, but I know as far as 2026, the next supermoon will be in fall in the States, in the Northern Hemisphere. So apply it however it fits, but it's relevant. There's something you can bring to fulfillment, but in order to get to that point, and it could be sooner for you depending on where you're at in the world and what time you get this message, start focusing on where you need to start. That way, by the time you get to the full moon, the super moon, whichever one it is for you, you have already planted the seeds. First you got to clear it, then you got to get clear on what you want to manifest, then you got to work on the things that do a little bit more weeding, a little bit more maintenance, which is focusing in your thoughts on exactly what you want to manifest, how you want to move forward. Silencing the noise, the extra, the doubt, everything. Training yourself to be ready for this, whatever it is, because this is big for some of you. We're not just talking about life purpose and the things you want in your life or the people, or we're talking about oneness and unity with yourself and being in the flow of life. It starts with a simple step, right? It starts with one change. For some of you, it has to do with accepting what has gone, what is done, and no longer hanging on to struggle, no longer hanging on to. Now, some of you are going to get really defensive, which means your wounds are being triggered. I have been there. I have been there, okay? I'm an emotional alchemist for a reason. So I'm not saying things from a pious, egocentric, holier than thou perspective. I'm saying it from experience, from wisdom. Again, remember your wisdom. Go back to your thresholds. The last time you crossed a huge threshold in your life, and that's going to be different for all of you, what did that make you feel? Now look at the one before. Go back in time and review your life. Really think about it. Take some notes, or you can clear things as you look back. You can go, I don't like how this turned out. How could I have done it different? And again, it starts in the mind. But in order to tap into the mind, you have to regulate your nervous system. You have to find your safety, and you have to be aware of your thoughts, which create your actions, which create your physical reality. How we respond to life based on how we feel inside is what we are going to produce. You don't have to be a manifester. You don't have to be magical. You don't have to believe in co-creating with the divine. All you have to do is be accountable for yourself. If you are in old cycles of repeating the same kind of experiences over and over, ask yourself what you think about that. You can look at these old experiences and you can go, you know what? I don't accept that going forward. I don't accept this negative outcome going forward. It doesn't matter what it's about. You just look at the past and you go, okay, here's what happened with that situation, without getting into the drama, without pointing fingers at other people, without anything. Just what did I feel? What choices did I make? What would I do differently now? This is how we close out old timelines. We accept the healing with grace, and it's a simple analytical process. It actually doesn't have to be hyper emotional, but you set the intention that within time, within divine time, you will heal. You will release these feelings. You will accept the tears, but you have to allow them to come when they come. Spirit will provide. This is the process. This is how you close out old timelines, and then you call in what you actually want. So, when you go through this, we call it weeding, or whatever you want to call it, right? Maintaining, so you can get to the point of sustaining. I had a beautiful, beautiful reading. As I record this, it was just about a week ago, in the second to third week of April, that had similar themes to this, and my messages do seem to connect. I might be linking this video in that. We'll see. We'll see when I release this message, but there's a lot to be learned from that, okay? This is a process. This is not a one quick fix, because that's not reality. In order to build a proper foundation to have the life that you deserve, that you truly believe you deserve, first of all, you got to believe you deserve it, and then you got to look at the different ways that you haven't shown up for yourself in the past. If you're in a tricky situation, whatever that may be, and I'm feeling called to speak to a few of you, and because I am doing a collective message, there are many different groups here. Okay, I read in a little different way. Sometimes we get a little more specific, but in this case, this is a collective message, okay? You are not alone. For those of you that feel like you have to strategize against other people in order to control your reality, we're going to get real talk here. Without judgment, this is spirit. If you don't like it, thank you for being here so far. I hope you have a great day. For those of you that some of you want to speak up on this, please commune in the comments with each other, support each other. This is a community, okay? I'm easing into this. I'm easing into this because I know some of you, this is really hard to hear. And Spirit wants me to mention, for those of you that were wondering that are a little intimidated to get personal services with me, when you work one-on-one, I can hone into your experience more. And while I'm always going to be a very honest, upfront reader and always tell you the truth, I can work with your personality. Okay, so if you have any particular requests in how we work together for spiritual guidance, then through the contact process of deciding what kind of work you want to do with me, I can accommodate your needs. I am not a cold person, but Spirit tends to channel very directly through me. Okay, so if you are intimidated by my bluntness, then simply communicate and know that I will work with you. And if we're not a match, that's okay. It's your choice whenever you're ready if you want to work with me. And keep that in mind with anybody you work with on a spiritual guidance service, that all you got to do is ask for what you want and hope for the best. And that doesn't mean that you'll get what you want, but at least you advocated for yourself. And some of you needed to hear that. So that was a side message for some of you. Now let's get back to this difficult truth, right? If you are, for some people, and I'm not saying this is you, okay, just sit back. Imagine we're all in a room, different people. I'm feeling like at least 25 different people, 5 potential groups, possibly more, obviously, I'm tapping into. But imagine we're all sitting and one person's asking something about their experience and another person's asking about their experience, and we're all holding space for everyone, okay? That's kind of what my readings are like in some cases with these strong channels. So for this particular group here, who are brave enough to still be here, some of you don't want to talk about it, and that's okay. Again, you're welcome to leave. Nobody is forced to stay with a message in any reading. Remember that. Use your discernment, your wise mind. If you are trying to control others and it's keeping you in a cycle of stress and worry and feeling like you have to strategize, you're in a hypervigilant state. And the answer is not to win over others. The answer is to conquer your own beliefs. Now some are going to say, well, Ellie, the XYZ person, XY, yeah, sure, that's everybody else. We're talking about inward. If you are sovereign within, you will never feel out of control or victimized by the actions of others. And when you are truly whole within yourself and balanced and in alignment and making choices that you know are for your highest and greatest good, then nothing anybody else can do outside of you can harm you. And then you start to notice a shift in your reality, because remember, our thoughts create our reality, which creates our perspective, which creates our actions, right? So when you believe that it is possible for you to experience another outcome, you start to receive information, wisdom, guidance, if you are open to receive it, on how to do things a different way. Ask yourself, in whatever scenario you just imagined, and this could be about someone you know, right? This may not be about you. This may give you insight into someone else's process, right? Ask yourself, in all the possibilities of whatever circumstance you're in, what is it that you actually want to accomplish with whatever situation? Not what's happening to you, not what other people are doing, not how terrible you feel about it, which you will need to process the feelings, and that'll come. Again, surrender it to Source and allow them to give you the space to do so, and then honor it when it comes up. The key is to get out of hypervigilance and fight or flight, where you feel like you have to control others in order to control your experience, in order to control yourself. It's not actually about control, it's about surrender, the opposite. That doesn't mean you give up your authority and your autonomy. It actually means you become sovereign, because you become one with the moment. You allow the process to unfold. You no longer are chained to outcomes, but free to flow in whichever way you want to go. Chills again. So which way do you want to go? You could be looking at somebody else's situation, be like, well, if I was them, I would probably want XYZ and I would do XYZ. Great. Now apply that to something you've done in your life and see how you feel about that. Ooh, some of you didn't like that. That's all right. That's all right. That's good. That's shadow work. That's going inwards, going, okay, it's easier to judge others and say, well, if I was in their shoes, I'd do that. Now imagine you're feeling the feelings that they're going through. And remember, you're a villain in somebody's story, not everybody's, in somebody's story, right? But you know who you are. And as long as you are staying in your own lane, you're being accountable, you're choosing the best for yourself, and it's not selfish, it's self-centered. There's a difference between selfish and self-centered. I've started to talk about this. I've even written about it. It'll come out in my book later. But selfish means that you are doing things to benefit yourself that could harm other people. It's not considering other people. Being self-centered means that you are the center of your universe, but you don't expect other people to make you so. You simply take care of yourself. You're accountable with yourself. You're steering your own ship, and you're not trying to trample over other people because you're staying in your own lane. You're paying attention to your own freaking business. You are in boss mode. You are self-centered because you care about yourself, because you're grounded. You know what you want. You know how to get it, and you do. That's self-centered. But you don't trample over other people. You don't try to control other people. You don't try to excuse your behavior. You are accountable. You are sovereign. And then you align with opportunities that honor that. Everything you do inward is reflected on your external reality. A lot of people don't believe in this concept, but it's real. When you have been on the spiritual journey or a spiritual awakening or an ascension process, or you yourself were a lead or a guide or a healer or whatever you want to call yourself, it could not have to do anything with spirituality. Perhaps you are a boss in the physical, in your career, or the head of your family, the legacy. Perhaps you have a lot of responsibilities and you just are a very accountable person who's also very balanced mentally, emotionally, and now you're finding the spirit. Now you're finding all aspects of life in union with all, the one, the choice you have become. So for those of you looking in on other people who are in these cycles still, remember, first of all, we can't control what other people perceive or think or do. And to try to control people in that way is wrong. That's not me being judgmental. It's a fact of life. And if you feel a need to control other people or punish other people in some circumstances, I feel like this is more for those of you looking in on another situation, not people specifically in this reading. But some people do try to control each other, do try to punish other people because they believe that they are victims. And some people are victims, but true victims don't try to ruin other people's lives. They just try to heal or just get through the moment because they are devastated. True victims don't try to retaliate, become passive aggressive, and most of the time they can't even focus long enough to strategize against another person. And people in a position of power, of wealth, of status, or who are fortunate enough to have other people in their lives that can assist them financially or on some kind of power dynamic, if they abuse that power, they will be judged by divine. They will be judged by it. So remember that even when you are in a position of power or status or wealth or abundance, that you can just as easily have that taken away if you try to take it away from others. The way you come out of those control dynamics and those toxic cycles, or this is for other people, for you to know if you have been victimized genuinely or you see someone else doing it to somebody else, which by the way, you can actually receive trauma by seeing someone else victimized, by the way. I don't know if you're aware of that. Look into it. I'm also an advocate. Anyways. Know first of all that we all receive the kind of energy back. The law of karma is not about, oh, you did something bad and now you're going to pay for it. That is part of it. But the reality is karma is whatever we put out there. So if you are continuing to work on yourself and do well for yourself and not cause harm to others or not allow others to keep causing harm to you, which is difficult, right? Some people are in an experience they haven't figured out how to remove themselves from yet. And if you are, please get help. There are resources. I wish you the best. Truly. I've been in some of those situations before. And this is why we work on the mind. Because if you can conquer your mind and then free it, nothing can keep you trapped in the physical. You will always find a way. You will always find solutions. Eventually, you will come out of the victim state. You will empower yourself. You just have to stay strong. We have the strength card here, remember? Stay strong. And how do you stay strong? Be diligent. If you're having trouble processing because of the hardships you're going through, find one practice a day you can stay consistent with. And then eventually that'll become a second practice or process, right? Perhaps every day you make a point of putting your feet in the earth and grounding and breathing, and that is all you do. For 5 minutes, you allow the sun to touch your skin. You can be exposed to sun. Some people can't. Or you feel the air on you. You enjoy one of the elements. Perhaps it's a mindful moment. It could be a mindful moment when you wash your hands, when you take a shower, if you have those liberties, because some people in some places in the world don't have those liberties, and which is another practice, gratitude, right? It's not about shaming yourself for what other people have or lording over what you have over others who don't have it. It's about saying, wow, I was so blessed to have this simple thing. And then by doing so, you continue to see other good things. And then you stop focusing on all the things you don't have or all the things you want. And you're here in the present moment now. And guess what? Your thoughts create your reality. So when you are grateful, you continue to attract more gratitude, more things to be grateful for, which means you are actively co-creating with the universe a grateful life, a happy life, which is part of the ways you can become aligned to receive. But if you are determined to stay in cycles, for those that are still blaming other people for their lives, ask yourself, why are you still in this cycle? What is it that you want to come about it? What is it that you truly desire? Do you want to keep battling? Do you want to have to keep using so much mental willpower to decide how you can one-up the other person or people or group or situation or retaliate or get one over? That's all the ego, man. That's all the ego. Let it go. Let it go. Do you actually want a good life, or do you just want to ruin others? That's for some specific. You need to check yourself. If you truly want to be free, stop trying to enslave others. If you truly want to be free, invest in yourself. This is how we begin. And this is going to be abrupt, but that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate you. Catch you on the next message. This is Ellie signing off.